Remind myself when I face my death, people woke up and there ain't no sorrow. Ain't got no more gonna tell you that. Only reason I don't wanna give it up. Came down from the heavens above and told all the people come dance and said now. Got this trust in a life, do we make a difference? What the fuck you gonna
Hello, everyone. Welcome again. I guess we will call this the Odyssey of Truth because it's what Campbell and I have been doing all along together. Today's topic is going to veer into something new, though. We're going to discuss life's lost purpose. We're going to consider this an introduction into a longer series that we're going to be sharing with you. More on that later on in this video. So life's lost purpose. What would you say it could be, Campbell?
Yes, it could be quite a lot. I mean, basically, you know, when we come into this realm, the most amount of effort is put into making us lose out, not even recognizing what our life's purpose is. And this starts from a young age, right? Everyone's asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? But they don't actually want to know. They want you to tell them a job. They want you to tell you, they want you to say, I'm going to fit in here. I'm going to be this cog in the machine. But that's not what we're here for. And then, of course, we go through school and we're taught, your imagination is false. Or, your imaginary friend, kill it. Listen to me, spelling. But, now we put you in a classroom, right? Because it's all about division and all this stuff. And then we come out the end not knowing what we're doing. We end up in either a job or, a university or whatever. Most people, I mean, seriously, it must be less than 10% of people that are actually passionate about, what they're studying. And then what happens is, I mean, it's normally about 20 years and you sort of wake up around 40 and think, what happened? I actually don't like what I'm doing. I'm not having the experiences I want. So that's, I guess, what we want to get into. What, not so much, I mean, definitely what happened, but, how do we get our life's purpose back? How do we start living our best life again? Because that's the thing, wherever you are, it's just a decision. A new, better life is just a decision and an action away.
Yeah, not even, understanding that you don't know what you want to do and your purpose is a good place to start, to understand that there's a possibility for more, to figure out what you need to do through your own desires for what you figure is good for you in your life. I found personally in all the people I've talked with, and Campbell and I have talked to thousands, and I've been doing this for 30 years and talked to thousands more, most people want to help the world to a better place. Most people want to help the world to become more beautiful, more caring, more sharing, better for their family, their friends, their community, and such. It's just that they're not sure how to go about doing that. They're not sure how to go about sharing that. They're not sure how to go about creating that because, as Campbell alluded to at the beginning, we're all grabbed, born, and shoved into a cage of one kind or many and told that that's it. There's no other purpose other than, fill in your own, whether it's to make children or to earn money or to look after your sick parents or to, help your friends when they're down. I mean, all of those things are possible and true, but I think they're side effects from actually finding out what your true purpose may be in according to what your, I'll say soul, what your higher self, what your heart, if you like, has been asking you to do and create in this life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're going on a holiday, I mean, and you have to get up at 4 a.m. Are you up at 4 a.m? And when you're up, are you like, oh my God, it's 4 a.m. I can't believe I got it. No, you're jumping out of bed, you're excited, woo. But then you got to go to work and you get up and what's the reaction? Yeah. So, I mean, this is telling us that we're not spending our time correctly. And it's all because we've been taught it's all about the money, right? And that we have to chase this thing called money. And if we don't have a job, if we don't have security, right? If we don't have this money planned out where it's exactly coming from, then everything's going to fall apart. But the funny thing is you look at people who have got sort of dealt with their money issues, that they don't have jobs. They're not the ones that are getting up and doing the same routine every day. So what we've been taught is a scam. And the truth is freedom is on the other side of the box. It's breaking out of the system. The system is the box. So, especially over the last 2 years, I think a lot of us have realized this because many people found themselves in the situation where they were going along, doing their lives, doing their routines, and then suddenly, boom, it was all taken away. They either lost their job or their business or, their It was, their employment was changed radically, and they're so the whole life, and people are thinking, well, what's it all about? I've worked 40 years. I don't actually have that much to show for it. So what's the point? And that's something to think about. If we have worked 40 years and we're not, surrounded by all these amazing experiences and things and people that we want, well, it's a good pointer that maybe we went down the wrong road, right? And maybe we need to make a change. And the biggest change is perspective. It's that, the power is in us. We do have a mission here. We do have something, we're meant to be here, as Lorenzo said. And so what we've got to do is, remember, it's not even fine, it's remember who we are and why we're here, and just have the courage and the trust to step out in that direction. Yeah. And that's really that's how you get started.
It is how you get started. And, the hard part, Campbell and I have been discussing, the ways we're going to, we're going to do a course on this, I'll bring that out right to the forefront. We're going to do 3 parts, 6 shorter videos, because we find, 10 to 15 minutes is going to be best for sharing certain information. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that, we're going to have 3 parts. We're going to have a sweet part or sharp part, and maybe then a part that goes beyond that to gather the hidden mysteries of life, the hidden energies that you may have lost. I don't want to sound woo-woo, but I would just say most of us, through the course of their experiences doing for 40 years, like Campbell said, things they don't want to do, they've eroded a part of themselves that maybe has become dull, lost, hidden, or just sick because it hasn't been exercised, atrophied, if you like. If you don't use a muscle, you lose it. And the reason I'm mentioning all of this, besides the fact I'm going to plug our course that's coming and, listen for more at the end, is that maybe when you get to a point, as Campbell said, that you've been here 30, 40 years, you've had a family, you've had a job, you've done whatever you've done to this point, and then you wake up, you don't like it, whether your dislike has been forced on you, as it has been for the last many years for many of us, or you've just woken up one day and went, well, I've had enough, this sucks. What do you do from that point? How do you begin to find life's lost purpose? Why are you there? What's going on? And what do you need to accept? We'll say, and I'll get into that in a moment, to be able to move forward from this point, because enough of us know their lives suck or have sucked. Enough of us have been in a position, and I'm going to put both my hands up, where we're going, holy shit, my life sucks. This stinks. I don't like myself. I don't like who I'm with. I don't like how I'm being. And again, I can only talk about myself. I don't like, something about my health or my wealth or my physical location, my mental, spiritual, whatever, any of the attributes of what I've brought to this life. And why am I so dissatisfied with everything? Why do I have this huge underlying dread of my days, as Campbell said, in my ways and what's coming on, and why am I afraid of dying soon, let's say, and all of the rest, and what is really going on? And that's my huge way of saying to take a moment and begin to perhaps take stock of your life, where you are and how you got there.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You can live, a week and you'll get weak, and at the end you'll be weakened of a life. There's a difference, and it's to do with how far we're looking forward. If we're living week to week, we're only looking 7 days ahead, right? We're not looking a year ahead, 5 years, 10 years. We're not planning where we want to be. We're not putting that intention into the universe, and there's obviously reasons for that, and most of it comes down to belief. We don't believe we deserve it, or some other dominant belief system in our self-image, and that's obviously a big part that we will touch on later, because we want to get into solutions, because we can talk about all these what's wrong, but obviously you guys, if you have issues, you want solutions, right? And so that's what we're going to be working on. But I mean, the thing is, with how do you work out what you want? Most people think that they've forgotten, but I don't think we really have. The best place to start is to just start writing. Write down, what do you want? Where do you want to be in 10 years? What did you want as a kid? All these different things. What did you learn from the people you admire? Why do you admire them? What traits do you want to build in yourself? What do you think of when you wake up in the morning? What's the first happy thought? All these different things. It's just really recognizing what drives us and getting rid of all the, all this information that's thrown at us every day, and I'm just starting to spend time alone on your life, because guys, this is the thing, it is your life. That's the thing, we spend a tend to live our lives based on what other people either do, think, or say, or more than that, it's what we perceive they think or they're saying. And so most of our lives aren't even based on anything. They're based on this sort of double illusion, right? So it's, and I'm sure, most people watching this are probably at the time in their life, especially after the last 2 years, where you've decided, well, look, who cares? Bugger it. It's just time to live my life. And that's where you need to get to, and understand that no one gets to choose except you. And if you think your choice is being taken away, that's actually you giving it away. And we need to, not sugarcoat this. This is all up to us. We are the people who make our lives good or bad, right? Successful or unsuccessful. It's us. We make ourselves happy or sad. That, so we've got to take control of that. We've got to take, ownership of that. We got ourselves in this position. Sure, we may have been lied to and all this kind of stuff, but ultimately, if it's our fault, we can fix it. If it's not our fault, we have to go and change 7 billion people. Not an easy task.
Yeah. So as Campbell said, and he made a really good point. So let's say you write out your life, you write out what's beautiful about your life, you write out your intent and your affirmations and where you'd like to go and how you'd like to go and what's missing and all the beautiful things that maybe you remember from when you were a child and you don't have or you're not experiencing right now. That's great. It's a good first step. But then I would say, why are you where you are? Like, why are you missing this? Why did you spend 40 years in this job? Why are you unhappy about this or dissatisfied about this? Why is your body not healthy? Why is your heart sad all the time? Why is your head full of non-ending garbage that is constantly telling you how you can't succeed or you won't succeed or you've wasted your time, what have you? And perhaps you have, wasted or been bad or been angry or been sad or been mean. Every one of us has done this in one varying degree or another. But, and it's a big but, my big but's been in my own way, again, as Campbell has said, if you take responsibility for all of the answers that come from there, how you made your life the way it is without any excuses, blame, pointing fingers, it's nobody's fault, in my opinion, except yours as to where or why you are where you are. We've all had schooling. We've all had crazy parents. We've all had crazy governments to deal with. We've all had limited nutrition in a lot of the foods that were suggested to us. The poison waters, the poison skies, the poison airs, the poison airwaves, the poison TVs and cell phones, whatever. Everyone has those challenges. But a true hero is the one that notices those are the challenges they've had and are looking for where their responsibility lies or lays in fixing those challenges.
100%. And the thing is, you can feel sad for yourself and get, poor little me syndrome and all this, but the truth is, it doesn't take much looking to find someone who's in a worse position than you are. So it's all just imagined, really. I mean, and that's where I go all the time when stuff that happens to me that I'm not particularly happy about. I just think, well, look at what some people go through, and I've heard some of the stories, and some of these people come out the other end and they're happy and they're smiling and they've learned, and it's just like, oh my God. And this is the thing. These are the people who make you want to be better, right? This, what I was saying before is, the people that inspire you, why do they inspire you? What are those traits? Like, why do you watch certain channels? Why do you aspire to be like certain people? Why do you, just like certain people? What is it about them? Because what it is you see in them traits that you want to have in yourself, that you would like in yourself. And it's the same when you dislike someone, you see in them the traits that you dislike in yourself. So life's a mirror. And I was going to say that change doesn't mean, we're not telling everyone to go and quit their job. You may be unhappy at your job, but it may be just the way you're looking at it and just the way your thought process is happening. If you change a few things, it may become one of the best jobs in the world. And this has happened countless times where people change they're down the bottom for 5 years. They hate it. Nothing happens. They change their viewpoint and within a year, they're managing the place. It happens all the time. So The change is in your perspective. It's like, Lorenzo was saying, we have to take control. It's like you point the finger and three are pointing back at you, right? Because no matter how much we want complaining or whatever to change our lives, truth is it doesn't. Well, it does, but for the worse. It's not going to take you where you want to go. So this is the biggest thing. Just spend time with yourself and start to get real and understand that all this stuff, most of this stuff that that rules our lives now happened as when we were kids. I mean, you can't blame a kid. It's not like we go down the street and you see a kid make a mistake and you start yelling at them, "You stupid kid." Well, you were that kid, right? And that's when most of this stuff was put in. So be easy on yourself. I mean, you were just, so this is not about, oh my God, I stuffed up, I'm so bad, or shame or anything. It's just about, well, it's learning, right? They're all mistakes, not mistakes, mistakes. And a mistake is, oh, well, I did that wrong. So you look at it, okay, this is how I can do it better. And you do it again. And that can be, you can leave 40 years between takes if you want to.
I have. And even though go easy on yourself, also go honest on yourself. That's very important. If you've been bad,
yes,
admit it. If you've been wrong, admit it. Yeah. If you don't know where to begin, look around your life at what you don't like. Let's say you have a bad relationship with whoever. Try and make a better relationship if you want to. And don't say it's their fault. If you try and make a better relationship with your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, your friend, your preacher, whoever, and it doesn't get reciprocated, such is life. Exactly. You're making yourself a better person. You could say, like, I'll talk about myself. I had a horrible relationship with my sisters. I haven't talked to them in years and years and years and years. Right. So, I tried a couple of years ago to go, hey, I'm not the asshole I was when I was 18 or when I was 22. I'm a better person right now. I've dedicated my life to making, my heart nice and my heart open. So why don't we chat right now? And my sisters weren't really interested in talking to me anymore. Maybe they still remembered how I was not so nice when I was younger. They just said, all right, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Right. But they didn't want to build a relationship with me. They didn't want to talk again. They didn't want to carry on from this point. In some ways, it's been too long. So instead of getting angry with them, I had to respect their choices. I had to say, okay. I had to accept the fact that I was still an asshole 25, 30 years ago. I'm going, oh my goodness, I made this happen. I was mean. I was selfish. I was, self-concerned and I was not such a nice older brother at the time. And I got to go, shame on me for this. But I've made myself a better person by at least putting the olive branch out, or however you want to put it, to saying, hey, I'm not so bad right now. I'm a nicer person. In my estimation, maybe we can move on with this. Maybe we can't. But if I sat there and said, F them, I tried, they didn't come up, I'm better now and they didn't want to, so it's their fault that I'm still, I wouldn't have grown from the experience of realizing I was an asshole. Now I'm less of an asshole because I can still be an asshole to myself, even this morning. And so I get to grow from that experience, and it's like Campbell said, so I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone else. I learned to be a better man from being not such nice man 25, 30 years ago. And so then I get to take that moving forward to find my life's lost purpose. And that's only one of maybe 100 bits I need. But one of them is to learn to be a better person.
I mean, it's a good point. So many to, like give, that people like want to give gifts or whatever, or, compliments or whatever to someone, but they do it expecting a return. So it's like, I'm going to do this, but I expect this, and when they don't get it, then they're all like, oh my God, oh, this person. Oh. That, I mean, this is, you can't. That's not giving. That's giving to receive, which means you're fraudulent. You're just doing something to get a result. Okay, when you give something, it has to be given so that no matter what the result is, you're fine with it, because it's only about you giving. That's all it's about, is your intention of giving, right? And even if you give something to someone and they throw it on the ground and walk around away and call you an asshole, well, that's them. That's not you. And I know this, this might be a hard bit, to get around, the way we've been raised and social, all these sort of social constraints, but that's the truth. We don't get to control anyone. We just get to control ourselves. And much better that if that happens, you go, oh, well, that's where they are, go in peace, or whatever you want to say. But you can't take that on. as something you've done, because it's not something you've done. And the other thing is that that will only happen if you're giving to receive, if you're giving to get a result. So, I see this a lot, is people do things and it's just to get a result. As far as, it's manipulative, where the thing is with giving and receiving is when you give, the universal law says you will receive. It actually says you will receive it up to 7 times, at least 7 times. So you don't have to worry about the receiving bit. You just have to give. Right. And the other thing is, you don't know where that receiving is coming from. If you're caught up in, I'm giving here, so the receiving must be from there, well, you've got it all wrong. You're just giving to the universe, and the universe will come back. I heard this story. This guy was, he was like, I'm going to make, $10 million this year. And his friend said, $10 million, where's that going to come from? And he said, I don't know, wherever it is now. Wherever, it's just going to come from wherever it is, right? So this is the thing. And this is all about getting true and real with ourselves, is why do we do things? Why are we doing things? Are we doing them with the right intention? Are we doing them to get something for us? Are we doing them selfishly, or are we doing them givingly, just to give, just to help?
Did he make his 10 million?
I think he did.
Oh, and in my example, and I don't want to talk about myself because I'm so great. I'm just kind of using it as an example that maybe other viewers can see. So I'm a better older brother now. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be a better older brother to my sisters. It could mean the lady I meet next week. It could mean somebody I'll meet next year. Could be never. Could be just in my dreams, or it could be in my poetry or my art or whatever. It's like, I've decided I want to be a better brother. That's between me and me. And now let's say I am. Let's say if I had a sister, I'd be a better brother. And it doesn't mean they have to accept that. The people, like Campbell said, this is my gift. I'm giving it to myself. I'm not expecting anything in return. And what that comes down to, I'm finding, to find life's lost purpose, because that's the topic of this topic that we're talking about, is sometimes you just have to begin by cleaning up the life that you've made in the last 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. You've made the life, you've come here. You can't just say, oh, I'm ready for a better life. My purpose hasn't been, being an engineer. Or my purpose hasn't been being a school teacher. My purpose hasn't been being a housewife or a husband. My new purpose is over there. So I've got to, and F them, because they don't understand that I need my new, that's great. But we've all been alive. We've all made this huge life, whatever it is. We all don't like it. If you want to find new purpose, it means you don't like your old purpose. And it doesn't just show up without you cleaning the mess you've made of your old purpose. If that hasn't been your purpose, you've still made these relationships, made this job, made these friends, made these enemies, made this body, made your inside energetic, spiritual and or mental environment. And only you can clean it and unmake them, because you made this life. So if you want to find the hidden purpose, you have to find what you've been hiding behind to get to that purpose.
Yeah. Take the mask off, right? Take off the facade, the persona, which is, what we all sort of, hide behind, right? We have like a personality, which is what we put out to the world. And then we have a persona, which is the way that we perceive the world perceives us, which means, we have this actual way we act, but then we act a different way depending on the reactions that we think we're going to get from the world, which is the persona, which is fake. It's not you. So, you can't get real results from fake actions. This doesn't work that way. No. It's all comes down to intention. And like Lorenzo said, we need to deserve things. If the intention was more on who do I need to become to deserve what I want, then I think a lot more people would be getting what they want. Whereas, we've been programmed to the throwaway society and consumerism, and the way to get what you want is to get a job, work hard and pay cash for it, and everything's physical, right? That's a lot slower way, it's a lot harder to move physical boxes around than to, access the universe, right? And get on the high thing and just start creating. So, again, the first step in any change is it's you. And it's really, being, starting to get true with yourself. Who are you? Why did you make decisions? Why do you look, think this way? Why are you where you are? And then how do you change it? Because unless you're real, you're never going to get a real solution. And, that's what humans are, right? We're solution creating machines. So really all we need to do is define the problem, and the solutions will start to flow. And then when that happens, you just need the trust and the courage to step out and take action. And that's literally it. Then you just keep walking, right? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And that's all we've got to get to. And then just keep going. You'll stumble a few times. You might even fall flat on your face. But as long as you keep going, then you're good. You're going to end up somewhere much better.
Yeah. And hard honesty is really the hardest thing. So look in the mirror and see what you would like to change, and how you would like to change it and where you might like to go. And maybe it's not going to be so easy or straightforward or obvious at the moment. It's taken me years and I'm still figuring it out. I'll try something and someone will tell me I suck at that. So I have to take it on the chin and go, okay, maybe my purpose is kind of related to what I just did, but not exactly that. It's like, maybe you want to share your heart. Maybe you want to, be better at gardening. Maybe you want to help children grow up into a nice world. Maybe you want to help relationships work out. But that won't work unless you see how you haven't been able to do that getting to this point. Maybe how you've created bad relationships. Let's say maybe how you've created poor health, maybe how you've created poor communities, maybe how you've created poor families, or poor relationships with your siblings, as I did. So I had to see how I did it wrong before I could see how to do it right. And, it's a bitter, they call it bitter medicine for a reason, bitter pill to swallow and all that, because, really it is, and I have to say the pain, like detoxing, is only temporary, because once you go, oh man, I was horrible, not so good, the tears come, maybe the anger comes, but once that passes, there's more energy behind that for a new way to be. And perhaps that's the only way you can get energy for a new way to be, is to figure out how you've been wasting your time and energy in the ways you don't want to be.
Yeah, and that's a good point. There is so much wasted energy in the subconscious on all these programs that are running around. I've done this wrong. What are they going to think? All this stuff that means nothing. And so, no wonder people are so tired all the time. But, just getting back to Lorenzo is, we heard the story, and Lorenzo could have got annoyed and pissed off, and, oh my God, see, I was right. They're just bitches. And he could have become an angrier man, and what would that have achieved? He would have proved that he was that bad brother, right? Or he could go, okay, look, that's fine. I stuffed up. Can I keep learning? Have I still got things to work on? Can I keep learning it and growing? And if he does that, the chances of him, reconciling with his sisters, whether that happens or not, the chances are much greater. But the other thing is, he's, like he said before, he can be anyone's big brother. He's going to start affecting other people with that big brother energy, people who need it. We don't know. Maybe there's a 14-year-old kid down the road who just needs someone to talk to, right? And if Lorenzo keeps going down that path, he's going to be that person. He's going to be able to help people and affect them. But if he took it as, fuck them, I'm right, there's no good at all. Only bad can come from that. So it all does come down with being real. We've got to look at ourselves for who we really are. Take the armor off, take the facade, the persona off, and just, who are you? And like I said, there's nothing to be ashamed or whatever. You didn't do anything wrong. As far as, there's nothing you've done that's unchangeable. Sure, you may have done things wrong, and if you did, you need to go, yeah, I fucked up, that was wrong, and go through that. But ultimately, you can start your life from now. Whatever changes you want, you can start now. Okay, you can be whoever you want in 10 years. You really can. I mean, look what happened. Most of us have just wasted 20, 30 years and achieved nothing. Imagine if we were focused on something for just 10 of those years. So this is what we're going to get into, guys.
Yep.
We're going to be doing a course. It's going to be coming out in 3 sections, probably, sort of 6 parts in each section. And we're going to sort of go through, but we're going to start, we want to give solutions and things you can actually do to start, changing the course of your life. Because obviously we went through the last 2 years and everyone's in this place of what's going on, what's happening. And the truth is, what's going to happen is whatever you put the most focus into. All right. So if that's the news, well, that's what's going to happen, whatever they're saying, right? So this is the thing. From this point on, it's all up to us, guys. It's what we decide to do and we take action on. That's going to be the future. So keep an eye out. We will have more coming on that.
So life's lost purpose. That's what this is going to be titled. If anybody has, we have an idea what we're going to share already. We've already mapped out quite a bit of it. Anybody has any suggestions, please, leave the information below. If anybody wants to be on that mailing list to get notified when it's released, please leave their email below. We'll have a link to join our email list where we're going to mention it anyways. Please join the email list below. We just want to say right now, we're not going to be sharing any of those $3,000. I'm a guru and I'm going to help you get to heaven in living in new earth and in the luxury of your angel wings and, golden teeth, courses, not at all. We are seriously considering making this very affordable, maybe $100 for all three, $33 each or something of that nature. And so that it's approachable for anyone who really wants to do this, to get involved and to make some changes they want to make. And one caveat, I wanted to share with people before anybody down the road maybe doesn't like some of the harder solutions is keep in mind one thing, right? Your life is the way it is because you've lived your 30, 40, 50 years to get to where you are. And in that time, you've collected maybe family, you've collected maybe children, you've collected jobs, you've collected whatever you've collected to get to that life. I like Campbell's background, all these books, all these things in your life, you've collected all that. And you've collected those because of who you are today when you're standing there. So if you are going to become someone new, you can't expect, in my opinion, to keep that collection. Right. And I'm not saying people should run away from their families or run away from their children, run away from their jobs, run away from their dogs, fill in your own blank. But on the other hand, you were who you were when you made this life, and the people are around you because of who you used to be. And if you're someone new, you can't expect everything to follow you. It's nice if your friends want to go with you. It's nice maybe if your children want to support you. It's nice if, whatever, your job can be the same or your money can be traded into whatever. But chances are, I have found in my experience, when you're new, everything becomes new. And that includes people, places, things, bodies, geographical locations, outlook, jobs, the way you walk down the street, the food you eat, how you breathe, your hairstyle, maybe everything changes. And it's not because you're being mean. It's simply because everything in your dream changes when everything in your dream changes. And you are the one making that dream. As Campbell said, if you're 100% responsible for your life, you're the one making your life. And if you change that, you can't expect, going back to Campbell's original suggestion of the gift, because you're giving yourself this gift, you can't expect everyone in your life to accept the same gift. That's very unfair of them. And we're going to,
that's putting expectations on them. So that's not the right perspective. And you can't fly with eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys. But one saying, and it actually took me quite a few years to understand it, but it's for things to change, things have to change.
Right. Yeah.
All right. It sounds simple, but like literally that I got that one day and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, if you want things to change, they have to change.
They have to change.
You can't have a brand new life and be sitting on the couch surrounded by the same people, drinking the same Coke and eating the same food. Not because nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Okay, so this is the thing. You can't bring people with you. People are where they're supposed to be. So it's a personal journey. And the thing is, the people that have got the answers and your new friends and all these people, they're out there. And they will show themselves as soon as you start taking the steps in their direction.
Yeah. Or else you'll be on your own. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it really doesn't matter. If you want to make these changes, you want redemption. And keep in mind, no one is asking you to come along. No one is asking you to take these courses. No one's even asking you to listen to these videos. You're here because you want to be. You're here because a part of you wants to listen. You may be here further on taking these courses because a part of you wants to change. So realize you're the one making that choice. And take responsibility for that by not blaming anybody for your choices.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Right. So there you go, guys. What we'll bring up, we'll let you know how we're going to that in the future. They're going to be short, videos that have a solution built into them. We don't want to just sit there and talk. That's, obviously we talk a lot in our videos, but we're going to put a course out, and it's just going to be so you can go dunk, dunk, dunk and actually get some real results. We don't want to be fluffy gurus. We may sit on cushions with our legs crossed, but we're not sure yet. But it's not essential. So thank you for spending some time with us, guys. Make sure you click the links below, join our newsletter, and we'll keep you informed with everything that's going on. We've got lots of stuff we're working on. Yes, and we will talk to you soon.
Yep, life's lost purpose. I'm finding mine. We'll be happy to help you to find yours as you're willing to help yourself. And we're all, at least Campbell and I and everyone else that's listening, is delighted you're here to join us. Let's make a better world together.
Let's do it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Stay awesome.
Freedom, 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 yeah. Freedom, freedom, freedom is calling on. Freedom, 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 yeah. Freedom, freedom, freedom is calling us. Freedom, 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 yeah. Freedom, freedom, freedom is calling on. Freedom, 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 yeah. Freedom, freedom, freedom is calling us. Freedom, 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 yeah. Freedom, freedom, freedom is calling us.